I think we can all agree that this winter, like every winter, has been kind of challenging, especially by March, because we're kind of getting sick of the snow and the cold and the sleet and the rain. It's unpleasant. Well, good news. Things are about to kick off for the aviation season right here in Lakeland, Florida at Sun and Fun. I'm standing outside the Aerospace Center for Excellence, the cornerstone of the Sun and Fun fly-in that you have to check out. Right across the street from this is a public aerospace high school where hundreds of kids go every day to learn all sorts of things about aviation, as well as all their core classes that normally happen in a high school. You got to get out to Sun and Fun. Let's take a look at some of the really unique things you might not be aware of that get you off your butt, off your couch, and down here to Sun and Fun this year. It's true. Massive numbers of people come to Sun and Fun, hundreds of thousands in fact. And most of them want to look at the sights, see the air show, ooh and ah at the cool airplanes. But if you're one of those people who wants to learn a skill, right here at the Crossfield Aerospace Center, you can learn all sorts of hands-on skills that'll help you build or maintain your airplane. Just this is worth the price of admission times 10. Absolutely. In addition to being a CFI, I'm very proud to be an A&P mechanic. And as good an education as I got, and the great opportunities I had turning a wrench or driving rivets, building World War II aircraft after they'd been sitting in the dirt for a million years, one of the great educational opportunities I got was right here during Sun and Fun one year, where I learned to do the polyfiber system fabric covering on aircraft. It served me really well over the years, and I learned it right here, not in school, not on the job, during a day at Sun and Fun, and it changed my whole future, let me tell you. Right next to the main entrance to Sun and Fun, where you get your tickets and come through the turnstile, you'll be right next to this, the Lakeland Aero Club, the premier high school flying club in the nation. I'm convinced of it. These folks are doing things right. These kids are so good, so well trained in aviation. They not only build their own aircraft, they don't just maintain their aircraft, they fly them. As a matter of fact, these kids, teenagers, fly aircraft from here all the way to Oshkosh every summer and fly back again. This is a remarkable outfit. And if you show up at Sun and Fun thinking, I wish I could find a way to help promote aviation to the younger crowd, to replenish the ranks of aviation with young, exuberant people who really want to be in it for the long haul, this is how you do it. Stop in, see what they're doing, and see if you could do that in your town, because I'll bet you could. This is probably my favorite place on the grounds of Sun and Fun Radio. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but the thing that it really illustrates best is what makes Sun and Fun run. Volunteers. Hundreds, thousands of volunteers. People who prep the grounds, people who run the radio station and broadcast the show, people who handle the parking lots and all sorts of things. Aviation really does run on volunteers, and Sun and Fun is a fantastic place to see that happen in real life. The great part is you can become one. Some volunteers are just here for a few days. Some are here for several months. They have an enormous spectrum of duties and they do a spectacular job. So when you're at Sun and Fun, when you see someone with a volunteer badge, say thanks. They're the ones that really make this happen. And of course, if you can't make it to Sun and Fun, you can listen to Sun and Fun Radio on 1510 AM or at liveatc.net/SNF. Off in the distance here, you can see 4 hangar buildings. Those will be stuffed to the rafters with vendors from all over the country selling everything imaginable that has to do with aviation. Whether it's radios, avionics, upholstery, paint systems, fabric systems, tires, parts stores, it's all in there. It's absolutely amazing that you can stop into this one place and spend one day and actually see hundreds and hundreds of vendors undoubtedly finding the exact thing you need. Of course, you could stay longer because you're never going to run out of things to see here at Sun and Fun. Now, there's one resource on the grounds of Sun and Fun every year that is just so valuable you have to stop in. But for some reason, just the name freaks people out. The Federal Aviation Administration. The FAA is right here on site, fully staffed with people who can answer your questions, whether it's about certification, a violation, your medical, all sorts of things. If you want to know about it or if you want to expedite things, this is the place to come. Don't be afraid. They're not doing facial recognition. They're not going to track you down at home. They're not doing any of that stuff. They're literally here to help, and I'll give you a prime example. Twice, I've met people walking out of this building who had been waiting on a special issuance for months. They walked inside, asked for a status check, and were issued their medical right on the spot. This is a fantastic resource. Don't miss it. And by the way, it's right here at Show Center at Sun and Fun, and right next door is the AOPA campus. Big tent, all kinds of cool stuff. I'll be in there for most of the show. Come on in and see me if you dare. I might introduce you to some of my coworkers and see how we might be able to help you make your aviation dreams come true and stay in aviation for the long haul. It might be hard to believe as you just look at this empty field behind me, thinking that this is going to transform itself into the second largest aviation event in North America. But that's happening right now as the crews are out here setting up the grounds, getting everything prepared for when the vendors start coming in just a few days. This is a working airport, Lakeland Linder International Airport. Not much different from an airport near you. The tower's right there. There's traffic going along behind me. An Amazon Prime 737 just took off. But between April 9th and April 15th, 2024, this will be the busiest airport on the planet. There will be more aircraft here and more people of more diversity than you can possibly believe. Everything from little ultralights up at Paradise City flying off the grass to big World War II aircraft, bombers, fighters, modern military aircraft. I think there's a possibility a Constellation might be coming through. And just in general, you're going to see things, you're going to meet people, you're going to have opportunities and experiences here that won't happen anywhere else. So I implore you, if you've never been to Sun and Fun, make plans to get here because it's amazing. And if you have been to Sun and Fun, come on back. I hope I get to meet you while we're all on the grounds. You're going to have a great time. I know I will. And of course, no visit to Florida would be complete without a frosty beverage and a cheeseburger in paradise as you sit beneath some palm trees with the sun and the blue sky right out in front of you. And they have that here too. The Sunset Grill is just a beehive of activity during the show. You're gonna love it. And right behind it over here, this way, is the 4 display hangars and the food court. And there's all kinds of food you can get. Much of it very delicious, not necessarily good for you, but for the week of Sun and Fun, none of those caloric intake rules apply. You can do whatever you want to do because you're in Florida, you're in aviation, and you're at Sun and Fun. And if you find yourself desperately in need of cash for some reason, find the Skylight Hanger. Sun and Fun's got you covered there too. Now here's a couple cautions I have for you before you come. There's a lot of walking to be done at Sun and Fun. I've walked more than 2 miles just shooting this video, and this place isn't even up and running yet. We're still in the early stages. Don't let mobility issues keep you away, however. There are trams to shuttle you around from one place to another so you can see the entire show with very little walking. There are also motorized chairs to get you around so you can motor yourself through the entire show. They're for rent right here on site, and many of the volunteers drive golf carts. If they're driving along with empty seats and see you hoofing it, you might just get a ride, especially if you're nice to them. One other thing to consider, hydration. Drink water. You're coming from a winter environment more than likely to Florida in springtime, which is pretty much like summer at your house. It could easily be in the mid-80s with high humidity, or it could be in the low 60s and rain. You're never quite sure, but hydration is a big deal. Fortunately, this year Sun and Fun will have refill stations on the ground so you can refill your cup or your bottle, or you can stop by those spectacular food vendors to get all the spectacular things they've got going for you. And I think I'm gonna do that myself. Don't miss out on the 50th installment of Sun and Fun, April 9th to 14th, right here in Central Florida, Lakeland Linder International Airport. I'm telling you, it's the best time you'll have all year. It's sure the best time I'll have all year.